The NBA draft is just a couple weeks away, so today I wanted to take a closer look at the future of every team holding a top 5 selection. My stats are telling me that well over 50% of y'all that have been watching the videos recently still aren't subscribed. I don't know what you're doing. The season's coming to an end. The NBA draft is just around the corner. We've got a ton of content coming out. You're gonna want to be subscribed, so click that button and let's try to get 69 likes on today's video, and let's hop into it. Let's start with the team holding the number 1 pick, the Detroit Pistons. Now obviously, they're going to be taking Cade Cunningham, who's going to change the outlook of their future overnight. We're hearing some rumors that teams like the Thunder and Pelicans are trying to see what it would take to go up to number 1, but the chance of that happening is still pretty low as it stands right now. Cade Cunningham is the real freaking deal. In his freshman season at Oklahoma State, he averaged 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists, shooting 40% from 3. We've talked about a lot recently just how good of a prospect he is. He's going to come in as the heavy odds-on favorite to win Rookie of the Year, and he actually might make Pistons games worth watching, something that hasn't been the case in a very long time. Now, their future is a little more interesting than just Cade Cunningham. They actually had one of the best off seasons a year ago. They decided to give Jerami Grant a $60 million contract, a decision that seemed pretty odd at the time given their situation, but clearly was a great deal. For most of the season, he was one of the top contenders for the Most Improved award. He averaged 22 points on the season. He's got 2 more years left on his deal, so he could either be a great piece for this team that might be looking to end their rebuild as soon as possible after landing the number 1 pick, or he could be a super valuable trade asset. They drafted Killian Hayes with their top pick, who spent most of the year injured. When he was out there, it wasn't great, but I think next season will be much more telling of what his future looks like, but he is going to be in a tough place with Cade Cunningham coming to town. I wouldn't be surprised to see him involved in a trade at some point in the offseason. One of their best moves, though, was trading Luke Kennard. They avoided overpaying him, and in the process, was able to get Saddiq Bey. Bey looks like he could quickly become one of the best 3-and-D players in the league, and that showed at the deadline when contenders were eagerly trying to take him away from the Pistons. He averaged 12 points as a 38% 3-point shooter on over 6 attempts a game. But that doesn't tell the full story, as his volume and his role really ramped up towards the end of this season. This rookie class didn't stop there. They also managed to land Isaiah Stewart, who made all-rookie second team on the back of his defensive efforts. I've loved their decisions to take shots on guys like Josh Jackson, Dennis Smith Jr., and Jahlil Okafor. This team has a sneaky bright future, and they might be out of the lottery sooner than most realize. Next up, we've got the team holding the 2nd overall pick, the Houston Rockets. It's looking like they're going to go Evan Mobley. There's a chance they surprise us and go with a guy like Jalen Green, but as of right now, Mobley does appear to be the consensus at number 2. He projects to be a two-way beast at the NBA level. In his freshman season at USC, he averaged 16 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 blocks a game. The Rockets' books are very interesting. They've got a lot of great contracts and some terrible ones. They have guys like John Wall, who could earn $90 million over the next 2 years, and Eric Gordon, who's owed more than $60 million over the next 3 years. But they also have guys like Christian Wood, who's on one of the best non-rookie contracts in the whole league right now, possibly the best. He's getting less than $50 million a season the next 2 years. He was the favorite for Most Improved before going down with injury. He averaged 21 points and 10 rebounds, shooting 51% from the field and 37% from 3, while being a difference maker on the defensive end. Like Jerami Grant on the Pistons, the Rockets could hold on to him and form an amazing frontcourt alongside Evan Mobley, or given that it looks like their rebuild is not going to be done very soon, they could trade Wood and probably get an amazing haul in return given his current contract. Last season, they decided to take the risk on Kevin Porter Jr., taking advantage of his lesser trade value due to a lot of off-the-court controversy, a decision that it looks like is going to pay off huge. He's going into just his 3rd season, and as a Rocket, he averaged 17 points and 6 assists. It wasn't on great efficiency, but he's clearly special with the ball in his hands, and if he can avoid more controversy, the Rockets truly could have a franchise player. We saw his upside at the end of the season when he went off for 50 points against the Bucks, shooting 9 for 11 from 3. They also had a solid rookie class. they have Jae'Sean Tate, who was undrafted in 2018, and this season made all-rookie first team, averaging 11 points and 5 rebounds, but it was his versatility on the defensive end that made him one of the top rookies. They also managed to get Kenyon Martin Jr. in the second round, who had an amazing end of the season, averaging 17 points, shooting 52% from the field and 39% from 3 in the final 12 games of the season. On top of the number 2 pick, they also hold the 23rd and 24th picks in the draft. As far as future firsts, their pick in 2024 and 2026 is going to be going to the Thunder, but they also have a ton of incoming picks coming from the James Harden trade, the Russell Westbrook trade, and the PJ Tucker trade. It really doesn't look like this team is going to be coming out of a rebuild anytime soon, but I think between their young core that they have right now, landing Evan Mobley, and the incoming picks, they're in a pretty good position to rebuild this roster. The 3rd overall pick is in the hands of the Cleveland Cavaliers. As of right now, it looks like that pick is going to be used to draft Jalen Green, who I truly think is going to make his presence known very quickly. As we mentioned in the last video, the Cavs have a very interesting offseason ahead. I'd be shocked to see the Cavs not make any trades this offseason. With Jalen Green coming to town, they need to make a decision. They have their first-round pick from 2018, Colin Sexton, who was drafted as a point guard, but has really become a score-first shooting guard. Their top pick from 2019, Darius Garland, has really become more of a true point guard, had a great second season, averaging 17 points and 6 assists, shooting 45% from the field and 40% from 3. On paper, it looks like Sexton should be the guy this team decides to move. They also have Kevin Love, who's going to be earning over $60 million over the next 2 seasons. I think we'll see him traded to a contending team at some point in the summer, but I wouldn't expect much back in return. I think it's mostly just going to come down to matching his contract. The Cavs' future could look really bright going into next year. Their first-round pick from last season, Isaac Okoro, didn't blow anybody away, averaging 10 points on not great efficiency, but he was drafted as a guy that was going to come in, bring defense, but was really raw on the offensive side. That was the case, and I still think he showed a solid amount of potential. They also traded for Jared Allen, who averaged 13 points and 10 rebounds, while being an elite rim protector. He's going to need a new deal. I have some concerns on how much he might get in that new deal, but regardless, he's going to be a great piece to have locked up. Going forward, with a core of Jalen Green, Darius Garland, Isaac Okoro, and Jared Allen, plus all their future first-round picks, plus whatever they get from Sexton and Kevin Love, is a pretty good position to be in. They should be in the lottery for a few more seasons, but Cavs fans have a lot to get excited about. Now we have the team that holds the 4th overall pick, the Toronto Raptors. They're in a weird spot this offseason. They've got a lot of decisions to make. There's so many directions they could go with this roster. It looks like the 4th overall pick should be Jalen Suggs, who's a super well-rounded point guard that should be a great replacement to Kyle Lowry, who's most likely out the door, whether that's through free agency or a sign-and trade. The main decision this team needs to make is whether to play it out with this core or blow it up. Siakam, he's 27, on contract till 2023. Fred VanVleet, 27, on contract till 2023. They've got 2 great young pieces in Gary Trent Jr., who was traded for at the deadline. This year he averaged 15 points, shooting 39% from 3, and is going to be a restricted free agent. Then you've got OG Anunoby. He's just 23 years old, and his extension is going to kick in next season. That's going to keep him locked up till 2025, getting around $18 million a season. This past year, he averaged 16 points and 5 rebounds, shooting 40% from 3. The core they have is super solid, but if they try to play this out and their struggles continue, they're going to be in a tough spot. They own all their future first-round picks, so regardless of the direction they go, they're still in a pretty good position. If I was running this team, I would see what I could get for veterans like Pascal Siakam. There's a lot of trade rumors involving him to teams like the Golden State Warriors. Add to their pick pool and try to focus on Suggs, Trent, and Anunoby, but I really don't feel that's the direction this team's going to go in. It's really unclear what this roster is going to look like at the start of next year. The Magic are looking sneaky good. They hold the 5th overall pick in the draft. They have a great trade piece in Terrence Ross, who I'm sure is going to get a ton of interest from contenders. Markelle Fultz, he's turned things around. He's locked up till 2024. Jonathan Isaac is locked up till 2025, who I really believe in. It's just a matter of staying healthy. They've got some solid young guys like Mo Bamba, Wendell Carter, Cole Anthony, and RJ Hampton. The big thing for this team is that they cleared house. They traded Aaron Gordon, Nikola Vucevic, and Evan Fournier. This team is in a rebuild, and they're going to be making a lot of lottery selections. In this draft, they've got the 5th overall pick and the 8th overall pick coming from that Vucevic trade. The 5th overall pick projects to be Jonathan Kuminga, and the 8th overall pick could be a lot of guys most likely one of Jalen Johnson and Keon Johnson. They own all their future first-round picks, plus more picks coming from those Vucevic and Aaron Gordon trades. They're not in a situation to jump up and down about, but it's the start of a rebuild, so hopefully they can hit on their lottery picks and get out as soon as possible. But that's the video, guys. You guys give me your thoughts in the comments below. If you liked the video, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.